You're in the Cowboys locker room and it's not just tense. It's nuclear. You could cut the air with a broken headset. 1 second, you're hearing cleats echo on the tile floor. The next, boom, Dak Prescott slams his helmet into a locker door hard enough to make 3 rookies jump out of their socks. Eyes are wide. Phones are out. And no one's saying a word. Because this isn't just frustration. This is betrayal. News just broke. Micah Parsons, yes, that Micah Parsons has been traded to the Green Bay Packers.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
Micah, the heart of your defense. The walking highlight reel. The only guy on the squad who could sack a quarterback, chase down a tight end, and still have enough energy to troll the Eagles on Twitter before the game was over. Gone. Just like that. And the guy left behind to pick up the pieces? Prescott. So yeah, he's snapping. Because no matter what the press conference spin says, no matter how much Jerry Jones smiles through his strategic repositioning speech, everyone in that locker room knows what this really was. They picked Dak over Micah. And now, everyone's got questions. Loud ones. Is Dak actually worth being the center of the franchise? Can he carry this team without its defensive spine? And did Jerry just trade away the best defensive player in the league because he's trying to force one last Super Bowl before his retirement tour begins? You already know the answers are messy. But let's break it down. First, the trade itself. 2 first-rounders and Kenny Clark. Solid value on paper. Clark's no scrub, and the draft picks could be game-changers if the scouting department gets lucky. But this isn't Madden. This is the NFL. You don't trade away the most electric defender in the league unless something's seriously broken behind the scenes. And oh, was it broken? Insiders say Micah's contract negotiations had turned icy. He wanted Bosa money, $30 million plus a year. Jerry wanted to delay. Sources close to the team say it wasn't just about dollars, it was about power. Micah had become the face of the team without even trying. His jersey outsold Dak's. His post-game interviews trended more. Hell, he even had more fans showing up to training camp to watch him work the sled than to see Dak throw slants. And that didn't sit well in the old Cowboys empire. Jerry's loyalty to quarterbacks is the stuff of Texas legend. Tony. He'll pay them, defend them, build around them. But when a defensive star starts becoming the star, that's when things start feeling a little complicated. And if you thought this was just a business move, think again. The second that trade hit X, formerly Twitter, the internet exploded. Cowboys fans were losing their minds. Packers fans were already photoshopping Micah into Lambeau Field wallpapers. Meanwhile, in the Cowboys facility, chaos. Multiple players reportedly confronted coaches. One assistant offensive coach stormed out. CeeDee Lamb posted a cryptic broken heart emoji and then deleted it 10 minutes later. And Dak? Dak didn't just snap. He reportedly told Jerry to his face that if they were going to put everything on his shoulders, then they better be ready for the consequences. Translation, if the season goes south? This is on ownership. Because let's talk about pressure. Before this trade, Dak already had the heaviest contract in the NFL. But he's expected to win games, elevate rookies, and survive the media storm without the guy who gave him the ball back twice a game. You think Philly's scared now? The Eagles' offensive line is laughing. The Giants smell blood. And Washington? Okay, they're still figuring things out, but even they know the Cowboys' defense isn't the same without 11 on the field. And here's the part Jerry Jones will never admit. This trade wasn't just about strategy. It was about legacy. Jerry wants a ring. One more. Before he hands off the team, before he becomes more memory than mastermind. He sees the window closing, and instead of doubling down on defense, he's pushing all his chips in on Dak. But here's the gamble, if Dak doesn't deliver? If the Cowboys flame out in the wild card? If Parsons goes to Green Bay and turns that defense into a Super Bowl wrecking crew? That's Jerry's legacy going up in smoke. Meanwhile, Micah Parsons is thriving. First day in Green Bay? Reportedly led the huddle, made a speech, and told reporters he's ready to win now. And you know what? He might. The Packers are no joke. Jordan Love has momentum. Their defense just got a generational upgrade. And now that Micah's got something to prove, forget it. He's going to be playing with the fury of 1,000 sack totals. So now we wait. Will Dak rise to the occasion or crumble under the pressure? Will the Cowboys' draft picks turn into hidden gems or wasted potential? Will Jerry finally get his ring, or did he just send it to Green Bay wearing number 11? One thing's for sure. This Cowboys locker room will never be the same. And for a team that markets itself as America's team, America's watching. Subscribe for more NFL drama, explosive trades, and the unfiltered chaos behind the headlines. And drop your thoughts in the comments. Did Jerry just make the worst trade of his career, or the gutsiest call in franchise history? Because this story? It's far from over. So picture this. The Cowboys' next practice isn't even about football anymore. It's a mood check. A loyalty test. Every drill feels like a stare down. Coaches barking louder than usual. Players throwing shoulder pads just a little harder. No one's saying Micah's name out loud, but he's in every conversation, every missed tackle, every side eye across the line. This is not a locker room. This is a pressure cooker. And at the center of it all? Dak Prescott, helmet on, head down, like he's trying to outrun the whispers. Because he knows what they're saying. They traded our dog for him? $60 million a year and we're 9-8? Micah wouldn't have let that touchdown happen. It's not fair, but it's real. When you're the face of the franchise, you don't just play quarterback. You carry the blame like it's strapped to your backplate. And now, every single week will be a referendum. Every interception will be, see? They should have kept Micah. Every win will be good, but imagine if we still had Micah. And every loss? Oh, those will be brutal. Media, fans, Twitter spaces at 2 a.m. dissecting every throw, every leadership gesture, every blink. Meanwhile, 1,000 miles away, in a snowy Green Bay facility, Micah Parsons is grinning. Because he's already made himself at home. First presser? Confident. Chillingly focused. He tells reporters, I didn't come here to talk. I came here to hunt. And Green Bay? They're loving it. Fans already lining up for number 11 jerseys. The defense has a new identity overnight. And Jordan Love? He's suddenly smiling more in practice. You know why? Because he knows he's about to get extra possessions thanks to the terror that is Parsons on the edge. This is the nightmare scenario Dallas was warned about. The exact reason some in the front office begged Jerry to pause. Because now, Micah has a revenge tour schedule. And you better believe Week 10, when the Cowboys travel to Lambeau, is already circled in red, bolded, and underlined 3 times. But here's the scary part. Micah isn't mad. He's motivated. He's not going online ranting. He's not dropping passive-aggressive quotes. He's doing something worse. He's working in silence. And that's what makes it so dangerous. Because this man has Defensive Player of the Year ability. He had it in Dallas. And now? Now he has fuel. Now he has freedom. And more importantly, he has a team that's treating him like a king. So what's happening in Dallas while all this unfolds? Jerry's on damage control mode. He's doing radio spots, TV interviews, grinning that grin and throwing out phrases like cap flexibility and future-facing strategy like confetti. But fans aren't buying it. There's already a billboard in downtown Dallas that says, "You don't trade Micah." One fan even burned their jersey on TikTok. Another edited a highlight reel of Parsons and captioned it, "Jerry fumbled the dynasty." And listen, this isn't just fan emotion. The numbers are reacting too. Vegas has already adjusted the Cowboys' odds. Ticket sales? Slipping. Merch? Slight dip. And sports talk shows? Oh, they're feasting. Every hour, another hot take. Dak's in over his head. Jerry chose the wrong cornerstone. Cowboys lost the soul of their defense. But let's pause the chaos for a second and talk bigger picture. Because this story isn't just about one trade. This is about the identity of the Dallas Cowboys. For years, this team has been a walking contradiction. Glitz without grit. Stars without synergy. Super Bowl dreams with wild card results. Micah Parsons wasn't just production. He was purpose. He gave them a pulse, a heartbeat, a reason to believe they could go toe-to-toe with Philly, San Fran, and the rest of the league's elite. Now that pulse is gone, and all eyes are on one man to keep the body moving. So, what does Dak do? Does he rise? Does he take that next step and shut everyone up? Or does he spiral? Under the weight of expectations, locker room drama, and a defense trying to hold it together without its heart? Here's what we know. This season will be career-defining for him. No more, it was the play calling. No more, the O-line didn't hold up. No more wait till next year. This is the year. And as unfair as it sounds, every mistake will feel like a confirmation that Jerry chose wrong. But let's not forget, it's still Dak's team. For now. He's got the talent. He's got the resume. And believe it or not, he still has a chance to rewrite the narrative. Because if he pulls it off, if he leads this team deep into the playoffs, silences the critics, and gives Dallas that long-awaited postseason run, he doesn't just save the season. He saves Jerry's legacy. He rewrites his own. He proves that even without Micah, maybe, just maybe, he was always the right guy. But if he doesn't, then buckle up. Because the meltdown won't just be loud. It'll be historic. The kind of failure that gets documentaries. The kind of collapse that changes front offices. The kind of ending that turns legends into regrets. So as training camp turns to preseason and week 1 creeps closer, here's the question that haunts every corner of AT&T Stadium. Was this a bold vision or a massive miscalculation? Because the Cowboys didn't just lose a defender. They might have lost their soul. And as Micah Parsons gears up in Green Bay, as Jerry doubles down on his bet, and as Dak prepares for the biggest challenge of his career, one thing's crystal clear. The clock is ticking. And in Dallas, it always ticks loudest when things fall apart. If you're still with me, drop your take in the comments. Did Jerry just sabotage his own team? Or is this the first step in building something bigger? And if you want the next chapter, Micah's debut in Green Bay, Dak's response in Week 1, or the brewing storm in the NFC East, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe. Because this isn't just Cowboys drama. This is the beginning of a football civil war. It's Week 1 and AT&T Stadium is packed. Not with anticipation. Not with hope. With dread. Every fan wearing silver and blue has the same thought on loop. What if this doesn't work? The pregame pyrotechnics feel hollow. The cheerleaders smile like it's just another season opener. But deep down, everyone knows it's not. Because this season doesn't start with optimism. It starts with a ghost. The ghost of Micah Parsons, wearing green and gold now, looming in every Cowboys fan's peripheral vision like a bad memory they can't shake. And for Dak? That ghost is practically breathing down his neck. He jogs out of the tunnel with that forced calm. Helmet on. Jaw tight. But you can tell, he feels it. He's not just playing football tonight. He's playing for forgiveness. And then kickoff. First drive? A clean 6-play march down the field. Zips a tight slant to CD Lamb. Crowd goes wild. It's the kind of opening you dream of. But then the defense trots out. No Parsons. And suddenly the tone shifts. The other team, doesn't matter who it is, runs right at them. Over and over. There's no hesitation, no respect. Just blood in the water. The pass rush looks sluggish. The linebackers? Confused. The coverage? Hanging by dental floss. By the end of the first half, the Cowboys have given up 17 points and the fans are already checking scores from the Packers game. And oh boy, Micah Parsons? He's on a tear. 3 sacks. 1 forced fumble. 1 very pointed celebration where he mimics pulling a star off his helmet and throwing it into the trash. And the cameras love it. Every sports network cuts away from the Cowboys game just to show Parsons being Parsons. It's not just a trade anymore. It's a narrative. One that's writing itself. Meanwhile, back in Dallas, Dak's throwing deep in the third quarter, trying to make a statement. Trying to force magic. But instead, pick 6. And the stadium? Silent. Well, except for the few boos creeping in from the upper decks. Not enough to call it a revolt. But definitely loud enough for Dak to hear it in his gut. He walks off the field, helmet on, eyes forward, but you know what's screaming in his head. They think they kept the wrong guy. And for once, he might believe it too. But let's not hit the panic button just yet. This is only week 1. Teams bounce back. Players adjust. Dak has had bad games before. What's different now is the weight. Every mistake feels heavier. Every media question cuts deeper. Every post-game presser feels like an interrogation. And Jerry? Well, Jerry's spinning. Post-game, he tells reporters the defense is still coming together and that Dak showed leadership in adversity. Classic lines. But they're not landing. Because fans aren't looking for spin. They're looking for Micah. They're looking for the edge, the fire, the one guy who never let the team get pushed around, and who now happens to be doing exactly that for someone else. And you better believe this is affecting the locker room. You've got young defenders wondering why leadership let their alpha walk. You've got veterans questioning the direction. And you've got Dak, who knows it's all on him now, trying to rally a room that just doesn't feel like the same place anymore. This is how dynasties unravel. Quietly. From within. Not with explosions. But with erosion. One decision. One trade. One missing leader. And suddenly, the foundation you thought was solid? And here's where things get existential. Because this isn't just about the Cowboys anymore. This is about what happens when an NFL franchise gambles on narrative instead of chemistry. They chose image over identity. They bet on the quarterback like they always do. Because that's the Hollywood script. That's the owner's fantasy. That's the ESPN special they want to see. But football? Real football? It's messy. It's violent. It's built on the backs of guys like Micah Parsons who don't care about camera angles or mic'd-up montages. They care about dominance. Control. And the Cowboys? They traded that away. So what now? They limp through the season? Win just enough to justify nothing? Squeeze into the wild card only to get tossed out by a team with less flash but more heart? Or worse, do they fall apart entirely? Do we start hearing anonymous sources? Dak lost the locker room. Jerry overplayed his hand. Micah wanted to stay, he just wanted to feel valued. Because once the leaks start, it's over. The Cowboys aren't just a team. They're a spectacle, a brand. And when that brand starts bleeding, the sharks come quick. Podcasts, reporters, bloggers, former players with mics and long memories. Every misstep becomes content. Every headline screams, collapse. And every game that goes wrong becomes a referendum on Jerry's ego and Dak's ceiling. But here's the twist, it's not too late. It never is in the NFL. Dak could rally. The defense could find new voices. Jerry could pull a mid-season miracle trade. The rookies could rise. The story could flip. We've seen it happen before. But they'll need more than talent. They'll need purpose. Identity. Fire. The kind Micah used to bring. Because you can't out-finesse failure. You can't brand your way to a championship. At some point, you've got to hit somebody harder than they hit you. And right now, the Cowboys are getting hit. Over and over. So here's the final question. Was this trade the beginning of a new era? Or the unraveling of a myth? Because one way or another, we're going to remember this season. Not just for the plays. Not just for the wins and losses. But for what it said about the Cowboys' soul. And who they chose to ride with. When everything was on the line. If you've made it this far, you already know what to do. Drop your takes. Was this all worth it? Is Dak about to shut everyone up? Or did Jerry just push the detonation button on a team that was this close? Hit subscribe because when this all comes crashing, or soaring, we'll be here for every second of it. The Cowboys wanted a headline. Well, guess what? Now they're living in one. It's week 7. The record? 3-4. Not a disaster. But definitely not what Jerry Jones sold to the fanbase when he bet the future on Dak and shipped Micah off like yesterday's highlight reel. And now? That spotlight is scorching. The talking heads on every network are circling like vultures. Dak looks lost. The defense has no bite. Is it time for a full rebuild? But the real tension? It's not on the field. It's in the building. Whispers of player meetings behind closed doors. Veterans starting to speak out, Off the record, of course. Coaches avoiding eye contact with press. And the rookie class? Shell-shocked. Because this isn't the locker room they signed up for. This isn't America's team. This is a team teetering. And Jerry? He's oddly quiet. No weekly radio bombshells. No big quotes. Just tight smiles and that thinly veiled frustration behind his eyes. Like a man who knows the deal he made with the football gods is coming due, and they're not feeling generous. Meanwhile, up in Green Bay, Micah Parsons is eating. The Packers are 6-1. Their defense? Top 3. Micah? Defensive Player of the Year frontrunner. Every week, he's making highlight reels and, more painfully for Dallas fans, he's not saying a word. No shade. No cryptic posts. Just dominance. That's what stings the most. He doesn't have to rub it in. His play does it for him. And in Dallas, that silence is deafening. Back in the Cowboys facility, Dak walks into practice like a soldier marching to war. You can see the weight in his stride. The pressure isn't just coming from the media, or Jerry, or the fans. It's coming from within. Because deep down, he knows something that no one wants to say out loud. If he doesn't turn this season around, he's not just losing games. He's losing the room. And once that's gone, you don't get it back. You don't win back trust with a PR campaign. You don't fix chemistry with a film session. You lead, or you get left behind. So now it's Dak versus the narrative. Dak versus regret. Dak versus Parsons' ghost. Dak versus Dallas. And if he can't win, then it won't just be the end of a season. It'll be the beginning of an entirely different Cowboys era, one where everything Jerry built is questioned, and where the franchise finally faces the thing it's been avoiding for a decade. Change. The kind that doesn't come with headlines or hype. The kind that comes when the lights go out, and all you've got left is the truth. And right now, that truth is getting harder to ignore.